Why, hello, my name is Dava, and welcome back to the city of Davesport, where today we'll be making a special new highway layout. It will be with inspiration from the Pulaski Skyway in New Jersey. It will be a little fun addition that we have in the city. And thank you guys for the support on the last video. I really appreciate that. It was fun making that video, the little trench. And we're gonna make another trench today, built in the ground with a highway layer placed on top of it. So that will be a little bit of fun to do, a little bit of chaos. You might have to trust the process in here, but I assure you, it's gonna come out great in the end. So with that being said, let's get into the game. Let's do a little recap. So before the last video, we worked on the above ground parks and putting the highway in a trench to try to connect the city just a little bit. Now it did come out right. I do just need a little bit more. I feel like I just need one more park in this area, or maybe even cover up this whole side here. But it don't really make sense because this is a parking lot. I don't really want, it'll feel weird with the parking lot being there, but it's still possible, still feasible. We have built up the area around this highway as well, so now cars can really traverse through here. We made a little plaza area. I find this area to be one of my favorites for now until what we're going to do today. And we did make a little entrance ramp onto the highway and just did a little bit of decoration surfaces, which I find to be, they really do make the area look much nicer when you detail the sidewalks with surfaces, but that's a little bit more of a tedious thing to do, which I tend to do on stream more often than not, so feel free to join me there if you want. But yes, that's the area that we have so far. Next, we want to work more south. We have the train set up to stop here. This is Local and Express. But this is the area that we mostly want to focus on. This is the Pulaski Skyway that I will make inspiration of Pulaski Skyway, which I will show you here. Located in New Jersey, this is the spot I want to work on. Located in Jersey City, New Jersey, and Journal Square, New Jersey, we have the Pulaski Skyway. It is a series of roads, 2 bypass roads and 2 local roads that start from right around here, where they kind of ramp up and just stay above. Now this area was newly renovated, so it is actually a little bit more modern than before. We do have a train located on the side over here, which we also want to keep into account, as well as a series of little beams cutting across the entire area. Let's go in here and see what you can see what we can find. It is just a road, just basically on top. Another road. That's really it. And you don't really get to see that much in Cities 2 just because of the way the game is really made. Like, roads glue to roads pretty easily, but using Move It, we can build something like this. It's really possible. And I think this will be one of the more fun things we can do in the city. Now, it is said that we can't get pillars like these, or beams like these. They would be those little thick pillars, which I'm sure something like assets will come out and, clean up, but yeah, something, I cannot see. Something like this is what we want to work on today, in this area right down here. And I will say one thing, no matter what happens, we have to trust the process. It may look bad at first, but we can clean it up pretty nicely at the end. So with that being said, let's get into it a bit. So to begin, we're going to start this off like a series of construction projects, really. The first thing we want to do here is actually get rid of this road. The Pulaski Skyway is a mostly connected road, and we don't really have that much of a choice when it comes to road connections, but I have an idea of what we want to do here. We want to get a nice 4-lane road here that is not asymmetrical. One of these here. And we're going to place a series of little, use one of these here. These are vanilla, or not vanilla, but these are vanilla assets here from the asset, or extra assets mod that we can use here. By placing these down, we're gonna change its color here just a bit. Actually, I cannot change colors. Hold up. Let me check my settings real quick. There we go. We're back. Let's see. Can we change colors now? Yes, we can. There we go. So we're gonna go with a little bit of a deeper color here. We're just gonna place a little beam running across through here, and maybe even get a somewhat nice curve to be placed here. Now we're placing this here as in place of a divider. We don't want to use the thick divider, and we also don't want to use the divider that you can build with Road Builder, just because those two are a bit, they sometimes leave gaps in the road, and the 2-lane one, or the one with the thin division between, compared to the thick one. Oftentimes we'll bug out and make a yellow line, which is something that we don't want. It's kind of annoying to see. That's step one. Step two, we want to place a bunch of roads down, but before that, we need to form the terrain here. We want to get everything up against this wall and everything up against this wall here, and we're going to leave some space for the train. We will have a train running alongside this, and that will be a bit of a process just to put this train in here, but we want to make sure that the clearance for this road, which I should have, that should have been step one, but want to make sure the clearance is correct. So what we usually, or what I usually do, is get a box trailer, have this and find it, and get this on the road. This is the perfect vehicle to test for clearances for the bridge. If the landscape itself, we're going to put two roads here. We're going to put a service road over here, and we will put another road above this one. We're going to make this one 2 lanes. 2 lanes is a one-way going this way. And the other one will be placed on top of this, and that will be a little bit tedious to place, so we're going to do that afterwards. But again, the perfect thing to do here to test roadway heights is we just want to place a trailer truck and then move and change the elevation based off of how high the truck will be placed. So for instance, let's go here and we can slowly move it up. Actually, it's a good thing because the barrier between actually moves with the road sometimes, but yeah, at least this close. We want a bit lower this height right here. Let's get this all across here and use move it, move everything up to the same height just so it makes more sense here. Perfect. And everything moved with it? Perfect. Okay, so that's a height that we want here. Make sure the trailers can fit at least almost touching it, but not touching it. We're gonna make some space here for the train to pass by. The train itself, we want this to be relatively close, but not too close. And just give it a little bit of space, like yay distance around here. And we also want to, oh, whoa, what happened here? Oh no. I did not see that before. Ooh. Let me bring this back up here real quick. There we go. Okay. And the railroad to come across here. And we do want the railroad to actually go down underground before it meets over here, because we won't have enough time for the train to ascend in a timely manner. We want to make this as realistic as we can, so the slopes will play kind of difficult to get around here. So the train will play across that direction over here. We're gonna have a road, not a real road, because of the way that this will work. We're going to use a pedestrian street here, because we will have a railroad on top of this one, so the next road can't be that close. So we're gonna use a pedestrian alley road here, place this alongside this area. I should have used the fixed slope tool, yes, because right now it is not the correct angle here. So let's fix that again. Across, and it matches all the way down to here. The train will run parallel with here. And now we want, lastly, our roads to pass up and down. So we'll see that just now. So here we have our basic road right here, our little layout. And now this is the part where you're going to have to trust me on this one. I'm sure it'll be better, but it will be a little, it'll prove troublesome. Next step, we're going to turn all of these roads into bridges. The reason being, actually, I'll show you right now why we can't. Here's the process. We want for a road to match on top of the highway. However, as you know, placing roads on top of the highway will prove tedious. What we're going to do, these are 3-lane roads here. We're going to place them right on top and make sure they stack above, go across, and come back down. Doing this because we're going to use Move It and straighten out every other road we come across. That should be placed on top of this highway. Because you can't naturally place things on top of this road without using Move It, which is one feature that I don't like. It's the fact that roads stick to roads really easy. I wish there was a way to remove such a thing, but alas, there is nothing. But this is one method of doing so. The reason we make this portion into bridges is because the entire base portion over here will stick out. So we want to form an elevation, and we will be using anarchy because we have no choice, really. We want to force these into a bridge. Every single portion into a bridge. That way this doesn't happen. And then continue the road. It's the wrong spot. Continue the road matrix across this area. And lastly, this will be the last spot where the road will have to cut across and either go straight or wrap around the highway and come across down. So these are the first steps. Again, trust me here, this will work. But you want to grab everything to remove it. Set them down to the same elevation. Make sure you don't grab the highway beneath. Down to this height right here. And from here on forward, we want to take every node and just drag them forward. Make sure they're facing the exact straight side of the other side. Because what this does here is that it turns this whole road into one node. Similar to using a roundabout, we want to make this whole road one node. That way you don't get like confused traffic lights or cars getting stuck between roads. It's one little cheat method of doing it. You want to pull these nodes back just to give the cars more space to turn, but also it gives a nice large area here. And again, you see here how this portion has a big old brick here. You want to do the same thing by just placing a bridge right over here. And then, is that a bridge? Hold. That is. It just sticks out quite far. But yes, you want to do something like this across the entire top portion up here, just to make sure it makes sense. And lastly, the train will be set in place in the base level down here. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna speed build all of these things here. Or I can just cut it and then we come back. Let's do that. So here we have the entire portion here, ready to be pulled together. Now there's one thing I forgot to mention. You will see that these nodes here will be strictly stuck in place. We want to pull these back just a bit, just give curvature. And this one will be pulled beyond its bounds. So once we touch this one, it should break just a little bit. Well, sometimes. Sometimes no. Like, I'm going to pull it back all the way across. So all of these little nodes, there we go. That one broke. I want to pull all these nodes all the way back here. Will they match? And I forgot to make this one into a bridge, so we will do that right now. And this one is a little bit slanted on top of a hill, so we can actually fix that right now as we're here. Might prove to be a little bit different. We could raise this one up if we have to. There we go. So here, we want to set you to bridge format here. I actually have a plan for what we're going to do here. This one has to be fixed by placing another highway or another road here. We're going to pull this one alongside here and set you to elevate this one, just so it works. What we're going to do here to hide this hideous wall is form a retaining wall alongside the highway below. That way it feels a little bit more seamless and rather smooth. We want to flatten the coastline all across here, just to make it feel right. And there we have a little bit of an underground highway. Ah, here's the problem. This is where it terraforms. This conforms to the topography, I see, so we can actually fix that. We're gonna go as close as we can, but not touch the topography as we build forward. So this should make the net lane sink down to the ground instead. See how that came out here. Yes, it is working. Oh, the trucks. Whoopsies. I did forget to move the trucks, but yeah. Conforming this to the ground, this should stick down. Perfect. Whenever you terraform, you want to make sure that you can get at least a little bit of wall as you can, or a little bit more of a topography that gets cut out. When you do this, you want to make sure that this doesn't overcast the entire highway, just a little bit. It may look a little bit hideous, but it's something that you can't fix with this game, so that'll take some time. And now the train. I save the train for last. I tend to not do that, but in this case, it's a lot easier for the train because it's a lot more revealing over here. We're going to set this entire cast over here to retaining wall. That way we're able to place or flatten the terrain out closer towards over here and just place the train down easier. And lastly, we want to make this into a tunnel. So we're going to go just a little bit deeper underground to where the train can actually fit underground. I'm just going to place this over here. And then we want to slope this out just a little bit, starting from about a distance. And just kind of scale it back. We don't want the train slope to be a little bit ridiculous. We want it to be, again, realistic. That's what we strive for over here. And something like this. Then you get a nice little underground format. Little underground highway with cars passing by. I will connect this highway very sloppily for now. And then we just want to see cars pass under here. So I'm just going to connect that road as we build further down. So yeah. Again, see, the trucks will not touch the top. It'll be nice and seamless until we, you know, scale through here. But yes. Let's put the track down. We're gonna make freight pass through here. And we're gonna use actual freight lines instead of like a fake freight or trains that we don't really want to use, like not abandoned, but just, you know, real. We're gonna place you alongside here. Make you straight down through here and then curve slightly. And then from here, it will pass underground. And we're gonna decorate this as well. So yeah. We could actually put a retaining wall alongside here as well, just so this feels, or the train itself feels more secure. We don't change the groundscape too much. We're gonna actually cut this short right here. So let's take a little road here, put it across, place you here, and then remove the rest, like so. And that should be just fun. I'm gonna get rid of these trucks because they are bothering me a little bit, especially this one. And there we have that so far. But from here on, let's speed build what we have left. We're gonna do some decals and decorating. We're gonna connect the highway. And lastly, we're gonna come back and fully put the pillars in that we have to place. And then connect the highway going further down. So yeah, I'll be right back with you while we do this little speed build. And here we have the little final result of what we have done. We decorated the track just a little bit. I did change the terrain a little bit. I shifted it so it can ramp up just a little further back. The roadways back here are in fact set. All that's left to do now is to place the columns or the pillars. And we have a few pillars that we can use from the last save. These horizontal pillars that we can use. We're gonna set this into a line tool. And do you work? Yes, you do. I'm gonna shrink these just a bit to be 15 meters and just line them up. We do want it to match the roof, however, that will come later. We will change the elevation as we go further, and this should be good right here. Next step, we're gonna use move it. We want to only toggle the props here. I believe it's a prop, yes. Toggle only props. The rocks count as props too, which is kind of annoying here, but it should be fine. Oh my gosh, these rocks. And then just bring them up. What happens when they meet right here? I want to make sure they're at least inside of the area, so that way nothing can touch the building. We can go up like that. A little bit down. And we should be good. Now, some will be stuck below ground. I didn't drag this one up, but some will be stuck below grade just because the road does shift up a little bit higher. But those who want to grab each individual piece and just kind of drag them up individually. And here we should be near completion. We just want to use again to be match. We do want to make sure that these things here are placed all across through here so that way they don't stick through. We want to rotate these at an angle to make sure they're all in one line, 90 degrees, and continue going this way as hell. We're gonna have to drag these down again as well, but this should be the easiest thing we can do here. And here we've completed these. Now lastly, all we can do left are now just place little bushes just to hide these things. And then we should be fairly good. We should be fairly resolved. Now we should be good. And that'll be it for this entire area. Let's speed up the game and see if there's vehicles going to pass through here. But yes, there we go. And we have a little Pulaski Skyway, or inspiration of the Pulaski Skyway. And I actually do like the way how these things turn out over here. Over here we can make like a little park and pass through here. We could put a bunch of buildings around here and everything. This would be great. Things like this. Have like a little bundle of trees passing between. And then we should be good. Yes, that'll be... I just wanted to share this because this is actually a great idea that came up on stream. And this is probably one of my most fun things to build on stream. Just having little fun inspirations. Of just vehicles passing by. It's just fun to do these things. So, with that being said, I will see you guys again in the next video. Take care, everybody. I'll end it right down here. I never get to make little things where you can put a road on top of a road, especially in this game, and make it look a little bit detailed. So yes, take care, everybody. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.